Person of deep Muslim faith, Abrahamic religion. I love my Jewish brothers and sisters. I love my Christian brothers and sisters. People who come from different communities and backgrounds. We're all the same. We live in a country where we should be working together, not hurting each other, not defaming each other. We should be protecting the rights of every person to speak. Because today, if I am supporting the censorship of a segment of this country, guess what? Tomorrow I will be censored too. And I don't want that for myself or for my family. And that's why it's surprising to say, Trump is kind of an asshole, right? He says a lot of things. He's not the nicest person in the room. He's not going to sugarcoat things for you. But guess what? The 4 years he was president, nothing happened to me personally. I was safe. This community was safe. This country was safe. Yes, immigration changed in a way that I did not agree with, and I fought against it. And guess what? Change did happen, because in this country we have a system and a process where we have values and ideas brought to the table, and the people in this country gets to decide what is good for us. Trump is not going to agree with everything that I have to say, nor do I agree with everything he has to say, but I fundamentally believe he is the safest bet for our country moving forward. Our economy is in shambles. People cannot work, yet we're talking about awesome wage growth, awesome job numbers, and then months later we have those numbers detracted as falsehoods.
And the reason why is because he's a fighter. That's it. We like fighters. More importantly, the left left us. They left us. 33% of our kids at third grade cannot read at grade level. We went from the 6th to what, 19 now? In Minnesota in education? I mean, we are failing in every standard. 8th graders, 60% cannot do math at grade level. These are our kids. We talk about economic conditions here. Our conditions is horrible. We can't afford anything as working class and middle class people. Now, please understand this. We love our brothers and sisters who are Democrats, but you left us. And because the left left us, join the right, vote for Trump, 2024, vote for Joe Trabe, 2024, vote for Mazie Young in St. Paul, 2024, vote for Tad Jude in CD3, 2024, vote for Tom Emma, our lion, out of St. Cloud. Farhan is here and is endorsing him. And please go out and vote, because voting for Trump without soldiers is giving him a failure. So please vote. Again, for the school boards, we have a ton of people running who are in the school board from all over the state. And please go vote for.
Wow, 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 wow. And another big wow. Is this picture not iconic or not iconic? 4 men, Muslim men, American men, American Muslim Somalis. 2 of them in those Trump Force One hats. A leader within the Somali community. The gentleman that came before, a leader within the Somali community. And did you hear what this gentleman had to say? That going to vote for Trump without giving him soldiers is losing. So go out there and vote. Why? Another absolutely iconic message from this gentleman. The left has left us. That's like with Kamala broke it. Trump will fix it. The left has left us. The left has left you. Yes, that is so true. This is absolutely devastating. Can you imagine the Kamala campaign? The Kamala campaign manager, Kamala herself, Tim AWOL, who's smack dab in the middle of this, because the Somali community is one of the largest Muslim communities in the state of Minnesota, where they brought these refugees from Somalia and placed them into the middle of Minnesota, literally to fend for themselves. And as the gentleman is saying here, students can't read, write, do arithmetic, science at their grade levels. But every student has access to a tampon, thanks to Tim. That's just brilliant. Students can't read or write proficiently, at their grade levels. But every person in Minnesota, every woman in Minnesota is allowed to KILL their baby, MURDER, their children, because of abortion. They can do that because of Tim AWOL Walls. Jobs are not there. Wage growth is depressed, but the gentleman before so eloquently said that's what we've been force-fed, the narrative. But then a few months later, the government comes back and says, oopsie, sorry. It was just a little mistake of our, when we were crunching the numbers, you know? There was a couple of zeros were missing, or maybe 3 or 4. Yeah, we lost 818,000 jobs. They weren't really created. Sorry. This is the stuff, folks, and this is the last few weeks, the last few months for Donald Trump. I've been saying this all along. He's never been down in the polls. That's just a manufactured story that's coming out of the mainstream press because they have to keep up propping up the narrative that Kamala Harris is on an even keel. That's why these polls are so close. So the mainstream media doesn't have to basically F all over itself after we're done with the election. They can say, yeah, it was close, but, Trump pulled it out at the end. Yeah, it was close, but, this demographic came out. This demographic didn't come out. Oh, these were the mistakes that were made, That's why. It wasn't us, the polling. It was the Kamala Harris campaign that was off. That's what's going to happen here. That's the unbelievable, the narrative that the spin is out there just to try to keep Kamala afloat. And then the Trump campaign has had win after 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 win. Everywhere. They haven't lost a single battle. They're winning the whole political war right now. Now, if you want to add insult to injury, they've got the Arab American vote from the mayor of Hamtramck, Michigan, Democratic Muslim mayor, endorsing Trump. You've got the father-in-law of Tiffany, Lebanese businessman. His son is married to Tiffany Trump. He's out there speaking to the Muslims in Michigan and all over the country, telling them Trump is the guy. And then you've got all these huge leaders within the Arab American community where Trump has gone to a number of times. Dearborn, the only candidate to go to Dearborn, Michigan, and basically ask them and say, I am the person that will bring peace. Forget about what happened before. I'll do it now. We'll do something. And they said, they're giving him a chance. They're going to give him a chance. I've been shouting this from the rooftops for 10 years. Trump is the guy. Trump is the guy. I've been doing this ever since he came down the escalator and was running, and I've loved him even before, since my high school days. That's the way but the mainstream media, leftists, they're acolytes. They want to do everything that they possibly can to stop Donald Trump from achieving the 47th presidency of the United States of America. Let's listen to a Turkish man who is now a U.S. citizen, who is imam, a clergyman within the Muslim faith in Michigan, hearing him talk about Donald Trump to Fox News, folks. I mean, it's just getting better and better and better and better for the Trump campaign. With every news cycle, they seem to be winning with everybody that comes on. Check this out.
Unfortunately, Kamala Harris and Mr. Biden turning America, the superpower, the greatest power, to third world country. Broken border, oppression.
Left Iraq in the 70s to come to America for democracy. Now you get here and you see the president was nearly assassinated 3 times. What were you thinking that day?
I never seen a president of United States was 3 times facing assassination and attempted 3 times in 3 months. Where are we? Are we in America? Come on.
A wise man once said, "Peace is the prize," and I stand before him today. As Arab Americans, we unite against the betrayal of those in power. Our families back home suffer, their cries for help echoing across borders, while the world remains silent. It is time to prioritize our nation's best interests and foster lasting peace for all. This current administration has failed miserably in all aspects of humanity. It is imperative that the Republican Party recognizes the contributions of Arab Americans. No longer will we tolerate the narrative of fake news that seeks to demonize our people. We are proud Americans enriching this nation with our hospitality, education, and hard work. From doctors to humanitarians and poets to politicians, we embody the spirit of resilience and progress. We look to a Trump presidency with hope, envisioning a time where peace flourishes.
So this was Trump once again getting huge support as he's crisscrossing the state of Michigan. And leader after leader after leader, I believe this was a gentleman who owns one of the largest restaurants in Dearborn, Michigan. Numerous restaurants out there basically saying that we, the people, the Arab Americans in Michigan, and basically sounding this message to everybody, give your support, and we're giving our trust now to you, Mr. President, to follow through with the things that we've discussed. And as all these leaders have said before, they're not in 100% agreement with Donald Trump on everything. And I'm sure that's right. It's just the political nature of everything. But on the things that we can agree upon, this is the reason why. And guess what? President Trump was the one that offered the olive branch. He's the one that said, you know what? What do you want? We'll meet. I'll listen. Kamala Harris, Tim AWOL Walls. No, they're not listening. That's why they were brushed off. As the Somali gentleman said before, the left has left us. The left has left you. Now, I know CNN does this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but Aaron Burnett with the K-File investigation, I'm going to bring this up for you next, is talking about how Kamala Harris is spending millions upon millions of dollars with advertisement that's going out to both communities. It's going out to the Arab American community, the Muslim American community, which is part of that, and then the Jewish American community. And the ads are so blatantly different. She's giving one message to the American Jewish community and a completely different message to the Arab American and the Muslim American community. And I don't know why CNN decided to put this thing out now, but better late than never. But if you don't believe me, folks, watch this.
Mixed messages. A K-File investigation this hour finds Kamala Harris is targeting crucial battleground voters with vastly different messages on Gaza and Israel. This ad is running in Michigan, which has the largest Arab population in America.
What has happened in Gaza over the past 9 months is devastating. We cannot allow ourselves to become numb to the suffering, and I will not be silent.
All right, well, it's a very different story for an ad in Pennsylvania targeting Jewish voters.
Let me be clear. I will always stand up for Israel's right to defend itself, and I will always ensure Israel has the ability to defend itself, because the people of Israel must never again face the horror that a terrorist organization called Hamas caused on October 7.
Different message. Andrew Kaczynski is out front now. So, Andrew, those obviously do sound starkly different, to say the least. Tell me more about what you found.
Yeah, that's right. And look, this really illustrates the sort of fine line that the Harris campaign is trying to walk here in the closing weeks, closing days of this campaign on the issue of Israel. Here you have two entirely different constituencies, and they are getting two entirely different messages. There are often times these constituencies have very opposing views on this. If you are a Jewish person in Pennsylvania, you saw that ad that you're getting. You are getting that ad that talks about how strong she is in Israel. If you're a Muslim voter in Michigan, you are getting that ad on Facebook that's talking about how she won't be silent on the issue of Gaza. Now, what's really interesting here is that ad that we just played, the one that's going to Jewish voters in Pennsylvania. Now, it sort of sounds like those two clips of her talking about Israel are together, but they actually cut part of it out. Take a listen to what they cut.
Unbelievable, folks.
What has happened in Gaza over the past 10 months is devastating. President Biden and I are working to end this war.
No, you're not.
Such that Israel is secure, the hostages are released, the suffering in Gaza ends, and the Palestinian people can realize their right to dignity, security, freedom, and safety.
And you've seen too that they cut out that portion of the ad where they talked about Gaza from her DNC speech. Those two parts were together. They sliced them. They cut that part out. Now, look, she's also getting hammered a lot on this issue by Republicans. We talked just a couple days ago about how those robocalls were airing in Wisconsin that are made to sound like they're in support of Jill Stein, talking about her position on Gaza, saying that they're highlighting her pro-Israel position, and they're sort of trying to siphon those votes.
So you talk about being duplicitous, speaking out of both sides of your mouth. Well, in this case with Kamala Harris, speaking one side with your mouth, the other with, your arse. I mean, to target this is unbelievable, folks. Giving one message to Arab Americans and Muslim Americans and a completely different message. I mean, you've really got to be some kind of a whack job, politically speaking, to be thinking that message is going to work. So kudos for CNN to point this thing out. They should be putting this out over the airways every single hour to let everybody know. But I'm sure that people are snipping this up and putting it all over the Twitterverse and social media. We're doing it here ourselves. But if you want to add insult to injury to another injury, add some more insult and add injury on top of that. Well, Rashida Tlaib, who professes to be a Muslim, I'll take her at her word. I don't think she is, because the things that she believes in are not things that Muslims believe in. Besides the fact that politically, she's so far left, she's socialist Marxist, and those ideals have nothing to do with being a Muslim, as far as I know. But she has declined to endorse Vice President Kamala as well, according to the Detroit News. This is from yesterday. Now, Kamala Harris bid for president Friday at United Auto Workers Union rally at Democrats made a late appeal to get union voters to the polls. Tlaib is one of the few high-ranking Democrats who have not endorsed Harris. She was one of the speakers at the UAW's rally of a lawn of Solidarity House this was at the lawn at the Solidarity House in Detroit. She's the only Palestinian American in Congress. She has been critical of Biden's administration's stance on Israel's war. And I don't know if she has been that upset at Hamas. I think, I could be wrong, but I don't think she has ever called Hamas a terrorist group. I think she refuses to do that. And for Hezbollah as well. This is a congresswoman who, I believe up to this date, again, things might have changed, but as far as I know, I think she took the United States flag outside of her office away and replaced it with a Palestinian flag. Now, she might have, I haven't seen a picture lately, but this is something that had been done previously. But even to have done it before once and let's say she's now put the American flag there, it just goes to show you where her loyalties lie. Her loyalties are not to America first, which is her oath. Her loyalty is to the state of Palestine first, and to the Palestinian people first. Now, I'm all for being, charitable to other people that are going through suffering, suffrages, that are going through, events that a lot of us can't even comprehend at all. But there's suffering all over the world. But there's also suffering at home here. And the first and foremost duty of the President of the United States, of the Vice President of the United States, of any elected official of the United States of America, is that their first duty and obligation is to America. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the people who live here first. Once we help and do everything we can for ourselves, then we can look elsewhere to do that. So as far as I'm concerned, Rashida Tlaib does not even owe her allegiances to the United States to begin with. It's to another foreign entity and to other foreign people before her own country here in the United States of America that has allowed her to become a congresswoman. Anyways, wanted to share all that with you. We appreciate the fact that you tuned in. You've been watching the Dr. Nasser Sheikh Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasser. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow. You all know what to do. Take a look at our video links. You'll see 4 of them here. Give me your comments. Let us know what you think. What did you think of the 2 Somali American Muslims and what they were saying? That imam from Michigan, the unbelievable amount of press coverage and momentum that the Trump campaign is garnering, all the wins that they've had in the last few weeks and months. What do you think of those? Or do you think that I'm just completely wrong and those are not wins, those are all losses, and Kamala Harris you'd rather be in her political shoes than Trump's? Let us know in the comments below. My final thought, when you're right, you're right. Of course I'm right. And when you're left, well, you guys are just wrong. Until next time, folks, y'all take care and stay safe.